Putin says that they are now escalating the war. This is somebody from Putin's camp speaking specifically on why. I'm sorry, I got the wrong one up there. Speaking specifically on why they take the threat to the United States. They're holding the United States accountable for long-range U.S. missiles going deep into Russia. This is what he said.
Under these circumstances, I'd like to ask what is Russia's views of this Brazilian-Chinese initiative? It still makes sense for both countries to pursue a initiative in this sense. Thank you.
Well, on the decision of the United States to allow Ukrainian regime to use missiles up to 300 kilometers long, we read what the New York Times published about this. There are still no confirmation either from the White House or from the Pentagon, but we basically take our position on the basis of what is going on physically. And physically, ATACMS, apparently not as long as 300 kilometers, are being used, including this early morning in Russia, against the Bryansk Oblast of Russia, which is bordering Ukraine. And we proceed from the understanding that this is happening, and that any modification of ATACMS cannot be used without American experts and instructors, including satellite data, including programming and targeting. The President mentioned this several times. If long-range missiles are going to be applied from Ukraine into Russian territory, it will also mean that they are operated by American experts, military experts. And we will be taking this as a qualitatively new phase of the Western war against Russia, and we'll react accordingly.
So basically what he's saying is these long-range missiles, these ATACMS, that's being used within Russia to strike targets deep within Russia, is specifically programmed and cannot be used without the expertise of Americans as far as targeting and all of these different things or whatever. And so we're basically taking this as an escalation of war from the United States of America against Russia, and we're going to escalate accordingly. What are your thoughts about this?
I think I think it was Mitch McConnell and the Republicans are down with it. They're down with it to happen 6 months ago. Biden should have been done approved this. And I was like, I thought it's just a weird time for him to have done it on his way out. But I get it. I was having this conversation on one of my Facebook posts maybe 2 weeks ago because I was confused while we were sending all this money to Ukraine. And this dude, he said, this is what he said. He said, we send money to help other countries fight wars so we don't have to. And then I'm like, yeah, you're probably right.
But why would we do that against Russia?
I think there's probably more to it than we don't know. Like, there's certain nations that we really like, nigga. We diplomatic, but we really don't fuck with them. You know what I mean?
Carrie, what are your thoughts on this? You got any thoughts on this?
I don't know. I'm starting to think that it's kind of a setup because I don't understand why there's a need for that right now, especially considering from the outside looking in, it looked like Zelensky was open to talking, and I can't tell completely, but from the things I've heard of Putin, it seems like Putin would be open. So if I'm President Biden and I genuinely care about this ending, I don't see why he would jump to that unless he's trying to like leave some chaos before he goes, or I can't help but think that there's some kind of ulterior motive here on our part, and it has nothing to do with Ukraine and Russia, but with the nonsense that's going on over here with the presidency.
Trump has met with both these people within the last month, so it's super weird. Like I don't understand it.
It's not weird at all. It's the same thing I've been saying, man. It don't matter who in office. It don't matter. It when things of great catastrophe are gonna occur, there's no way to stop that shit. It don't matter who in office. It's not gonna matter.
I think it
It's not
matters.
gonna matter because these motherfuckers is they gonna do what they want to do.
I
If
think
they
it
say
matters.
if the majority of them people that's in charge, if they say it's gonna be war, it's gonna be war. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
but
war.
Trump isn't in office yet, and it's only 2 months before he takes office. So why would Biden give authorization to escalate a war that ultimately can go even into, when Russia is threatening nuclear? Why would they do that with an incoming president and then say that they have a peaceful transition of power?
Because
That's what
Trump
I'm
is
saying.
left
Because
to clean it all up. Like I don't understand. I think he can, but between what happens between now and the 20th of January, nigga,
That's a
a
long
whole bunch
time.
of shit. That's a long fucking time.
That is a
Shit, yeah,
very, very, very long time.
fucking 90 days.
That is a long time, bro.
I
the
agree.
crazy
No,
part
it's only
about it
just
is
60 days. It's 60 days.
See, and
the
then the thing
crazy
about it
part
is,
about
as
it
soon
is
as they gave
we
them
didn't.
permission to use these missiles, they used them within the next 12 hours.
Yeah, I know. I don't like it. We was having a conversation about it last night. And it seems like everybody here got their head in the sand and people don't necessarily start to get engaged. And this is why I think that it's important. I know Slimmy don't necessarily like politics, but it's important to stay engaged with it because then we react to it instead of being proactive about it. One of the reasons I believe, and I do believe it matters who's in office, because you got to remember all of this stuff only happened in this term. None of this was happening in 2016 through 2020. Nothing. We had nothing going on at all. Everything was silent. And I don't know if we just got used to it or what. Because it was like one of the first times where we had this level of peace in the world. I mean, you still had stuff going on in the Congo. You still had stuff going on in South Sudan as far as, genocides and stuff like that. But when it comes to world wars, that wasn't even a thing that was considered or on the table at the time. Yeah, Trump going over into North Korea and all kind of stuff that we had never seen before. So I do think it matters. I honestly do think it matters who's in office, and this is one of the things. Not only just with government and efficiency, I think that draining the swamp means addressing the things that goes on the behind the scenes that ultimately incentivize us to continue to participate in these wars. I think it matters.
Well, the reason why I say it don't matter is because ultimately, when you got somebody who's trying to come into office who starts saying they're gonna do audit for one, they're gonna get rid of the central banking system. No, they're not gonna allow you to do that. So, like I said, it's gonna be some obstacles in the way. It's the first obstacle. He's not even in office yet. He's not even in office yet. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Because if they want to fuck up the world, they gonna let that bitch be. They gonna let this motherfucker burn. These people, man, it's
So, so,
way deeper than just
so
Trump.
if you
It's
saying
way deeper than Trump to me.
So if you saying that it doesn't matter, so basically you saying that we shouldn't participate in the political process at all.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is it's gonna always be bigger than the president of the United States. It's gonna
So you
always
saying
be
that
bigger
we
than that.
shouldn't participate if it doesn't matter, then what's the point of participating in it? So you basically saying our votes don't matter, we shouldn't participate in the political process at all.
No, no, no. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is once once it gets to a certain level, whereas it's money to be so much money to be made from a war, that shit is gonna take place. It's not gonna matter who. It's not gonna matter who's there to stop that shit. It's
Mm.
gonna be a lot of money made. It's gonna be a lot of money made off this war, it's gonna be catastrophic, and there's no telling where this one is gonna end. And basically, we just hoping that it don't end up on American soil. That's what we hoping, but we'll see. We'll see. Cause
I
soon
think
it's funny. Soon as this dude starts talking about, soon as they start talking about the central banking system, they gonna audit the government, and they actually get in office, and everything is fully powered. All of a sudden, now we looking at World War III. Okay.
I think it matters. I do think it matters. I think that y'all underestimating the spite that comes along with who it is that we dealing with that's in office right now. I honestly think that they are burning up the curtains on their way out the door, and they destroying everything, and hopefully they trying to leave him with a mess. I don't even think that this is entirely based off of war or any of that stuff. That may play a role in it too. It may be more than one thing at the same time, but I just think that this presidency and this administration is so bitter that they actually leaving this place a mess.
I think like overall in the world leaders respect Trump more than they respect Biden.
I agree.
And I think it'll be a mess, but I think he'll make quick work of it.
Well, then that means that they
You gotta
actually.
realize Trump, when Trump gets some shit done, he don't fuck around. He's like, look, and he got the House and he got the whole Congress behind his back now.
I agree, and I think that the worse that they leave it, the better off they gonna make them, and then they gonna have to be accountable for it the next election after that. Because people don't forget. People do not forget. They're gonna bring this up same way they didn't. Because see, the internet is forever, and people like me is gonna remind people, hey man, 4 years ago y'all left this place a mess. Y'all left it worse off than ever before. And people don't forget. And there's no reason for us to be in these wars, especially when Putin. And it's funny because Putin actually said prior to the election, I'm open to getting phone calls and working with the Trump administration as soon as they get into office, because I think that we can come to some amicable settlement to figure out how we can end this war. That's what he said. He literally said it word for word when asked about this election, because everybody is watching the American election. People are not watching it. The people that's overseas are not watching what we doing over here for reproductive rights. They don't care about reproductive rights. They trying to figure out how they're going to be affected by what we elect into office every day. And when Putin said, "Hey, listen, day one, we can get on the phone and figure this out," and then you seen this escalation award. This is dumb. This is the dumbest thing ever. It makes no sense to me.
The first thing when I thought about when I started hearing all this shit, I was like, nigga, I need to go do some push-ups, nigga, just in case I gotta go do some shit. They make a nigga sign up for a war or something.
The unfortunate part about it is that I think that Trump is going to have to spend the first 2 years fixing everything that they broke over the last 4.
2 years? You think it'll take that long?
I do. Because they don't even, listen, as fast and as swift as it is, even his government efficiency program, Vivek said that the goal is to be out of there within 2 years. Is to be done with this whole audit within 2 years, and then dismantle the actual government efficiency. They don't want to keep it going. They want to dismantle it and kill it and be done within 2 years. But again, that's cleaning up the government, getting rid of people that ain't supposed to be there, all of these different departments, either getting rid of them or merging them and all of this stuff. And that's just the government efficiency. Then you got to go through and find out with the FBA, and you got to go through and figure out how we can get the economy back running and do these tariffs and stuff. I don't think you start to see the benefit until the tail end of a president's term, the
Yeah,
last 2 years, to start to really feel the effects. That's why, in my opinion, we're suffering right now so hard and things are going so bad so fast, is because of the things that happened in 2021 and in 22. That's what we're suffering from right now. We haven't even really felt the effects of the infrastructure deal yet. We haven't really felt the effects of the CHIPS Act yet. We just getting there. And so we gonna have to undo all of that nonsense. I'll give you an example. Automakers is scrambling now that they know Trump is going to be the president because they were building plants in Mexico in order to circumvent having to spend higher costs to actually support American workers and bring manufacturing back to the United States of America. China was planning on shipping a bunch of vehicles inside of the United States of America. Now everybody got to pivot because of the results of the election. They watching just as much as we are.
Let me ask you something, AD. You remember like last week when we was talking about, the election and all that stuff? You remember how we was saying everybody agreed Biden been MIA. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? He's pretty much disappeared.
yeah.
He's been MIA. Now, with him being MIA, do you really think he is really the driving force behind this decision?
I do. I do. I think that he
You
is.
think it's you think it's actually him that was
Mhm.
just like,
I
let's
think
just
it's
cause
him, and
all
I
this
think it's
chaos?
him and a bunch of other people that's the driving force behind it. I don't think it's him alone, but I think that it absolutely is. He is very much complicit in it. I think it's him. I think it's Kamala Harris. I think that it's everybody that's a part of this administration. I absolutely do, because they consult their advisors. They have a whole round table of people that's making decisions, and they write the checks. I think absolutely. I think that he's a
So
factor, a huge
then,
factor in
I
it. I don't
think
think
he's
that it's him alone.
I think he's probably like he does his part with signing stuff, but I think that at this point they could probably come up with whatever they want him to do and tell it to him in a way where it's favorable for him to say, "Yeah, okay, let's do that." He just lately has not been striking me like he is. I want to be
You don't give
sensitive
a
because of
fuck.
Alzheimer's, but
She said, "I want
huh?
to be." Hey, he plunging us in a war, and Carrie still being sensitive to his Alzheimer's. Shout
I
out to
just
Carrie.
I don't think that he's the brain behind any of it. I think that he is just the face wherever he has to be.
Yeah, I don't really think he has shit to do with this. Like,
How
I
don't he?
honestly don't.
You got it. He the president of the United States of America.
Well,
so how do you
let me
feel
say
about
this.
Mitch
Let, let me
McConnell's
let me let me
press conference?
wait. So let me rephrase that before it get taken out of context. I don't think he came up with this. He had to sign it, obviously. I don't think he's the person that was just like, yeah, let's do this. I think he's just a figurehead. That's
If
it.
y'all come to me, because he still got to press the button and he still got the new codes. If y'all
Oh
come to
yeah,
me and
of
say,
course.
Anton, we need to do this, this, and this, I still, regardless, your wife can come to you and say, hey, we need to do this, but ultimately you still need to press the button.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
but
you're a
I
bad
don't
example
go
because you're
ahead.
very cognizant of what you're doing. And he's somebody who's not always cognizant of what's going on. And I don't think he's actually someone who cares about what's going on. He's been in
I
politics.
think he
Like you said, he's
knows.
a career politician.
I
He's
think
a
that he
career
knows
politician.
and it's too many people around. I think he knows. Listen. I ain't. He can't have it both ways. You can't be worthy of being able to be president of the United States of America and running
He wasn't worthy.
just a couple months ago, running just a couple months ago, and shaking hands with Trump in the office just a couple days ago, and then absolve yourself of the responsibility because I got all my Alzheimer's.
No, no,
Now,
no. I'm
Well,
not. I'm not.
no,
I'm not
no
absolving
one's
him. But he
absolving
was
him.
somebody who never should have been president.
what
Well,
he is,
My
and
fault,
so
Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie.
I'm hanging this on his head 100%. Him, Kamala Harris, all of them. I'm hanging it all on their head. Alzheimer's, retardation, whatever you want to call him. I'm putting it all on his back, 100% of it. You got to eat. He got to eat this. This is a part of his legacy. They just was at the Democratic National Convention saying, "We love you, Joe. You're the greatest politician of all time. You have 50 years of service." Well, guess what? Everybody tried to absolve Jordan of the Wizards. He was still there. I give
I
Jordan.
don't.
I give Jordan the Wizards years also, not just the Bulls years.
Well, he did
Well,
good with the
I'm
Wizards.
not absolving him of it. I'm just saying I don't think that he is coming up with it. It almost reminds me of like when you were younger and you might want to ask your grandparents for something, you know how to frame it in a way where they're down for it. Like, yeah, you can. So I just think that
Hey, your
whoever is making
grandparents
the
ain't dumb.
decisions,
Your
it's
grandparents
not
know
about being
exactly what they
it's
doing.
not a
They just want to be loved.
no,
They know what's bad for
no,
you, but
AB
they
ain't
like,
let that
you
old
know
shit
no.
what?
ride.
They
I'm
like, you know what? Your
no.
parents gonna have to deal with you when you get home. But let me give you these. Let me give you this sugar drink.
But they don't know. Like you be
They
like,
do
look,
know.
it says fruit. It says fruit and
They know
see,
you
look, the pictures
finessing
of the
them.
fruit on it. It's healthy. And they're like, okay. My point is that I think that whoever is making the calls, I definitely think that Joe is involved in that he has to sign off, but I really think that they take advantage of his current
Carrie,
condition.
Carrie. Even as men, y'all think y'all smarter than us, but y'all not.
Okay, that's a whole nother
It's not. It's
conversation that
not.
I
And I'm gonna bring
totally
it. I'm gonna bring it
disagree with.
around. I'm
Disagree.
gonna bring it around, Carrie. Let me land. Let me land this point for you.
Okay.
Women think they smarter than us, but they not. We allow for y'all to finesse us because we do. We know when we're getting finesse. We know when we're getting lied to. No God, listen, not no. I'm not gonna say absolutes. Most men know when a woman is finessing them.